Right, hello and welcome to all the listeners. Richard Gow here. So, today I'd like to talk about something that I actually watched on Netflix. It was like this amazing documentary on LSD and psychedelic drugs. Don't ask. I just find stuff like that really interesting. If you don't know this about me, I love learning. It's not that I really want to go and take those things. I just like learning about them. And one of the famous people being interviewed on the documentary said something that rang in my ears and did not stop ringing until this very moment. Well, it's still ringing. That's why I'm going to talk about it. So he said, when in doubt, zoom out. And I just thought that was so cool because we all get in our heads and we all take everything so seriously, and with a little bit of space and a little bit of perspective, everything doesn't seem so crazy. When I was younger, I read this book. Okay, I'll probably beep this out, or maybe you guys will know exactly what I'm saying. But the F word, right? And it was the F word, right? And basically, one of the imagery from that book that stuck with me is imagine your life is a forest, right? And you're walking through the forest, and all your problems are these huge, tall pine trees. When you're at the bottom, when you're walking on the ground through the forest, the pine trees are so tall, you can barely see the sun. They look huge. There's shadows everywhere. It's all around you. It's consuming you. So their idea was, when you feel overwhelmed, imagine that you have a jetpack on your back. And when that moment comes and you've just had enough, you hit the buttons that are in your hand magically, and you zoom up. And you zoom up high into the air, above your forest of problems. And you're able to look at your entire forest from above. This makes all the trees look that much smaller. But you can also see the whole forest. You get to see the bigger picture. You're not just concentrating on how tall 3 trees are. You can see everything in perspective. And I loved that because that kind of calms my anxiety. I'm sure, like a lot of you, I also have intense anxiety around this time and around this transition period. And sometimes a little bit of perspective is so important. So when in doubt, zoom out. I mean, yes, I know that he was speaking about it when it comes to tripping balls on LSD. But if you apply that idea to your life, the jetpack, the forest, the zoom out, you allow yourself perspective on what's going on around you. Once you have that perspective and that anxiety kind of, deflates, then you can start to make plans. When your brain is going all crazy and you're wondering about the what ifs and the I don't knows and all of those, you tend to build up so much stress that you're unable to think clearly. You're unable to see the opportunities that are around you. So when in doubt, zoom out. That will allow you to activate that internal instinct to problem solve, to figure out what your next step is, to adapt. And that's something that we're all frantically trying to do, but perhaps that's part of the problem is we're frantic about it. We are staying in when we're in doubt instead of zooming out. So I want to leave that with you guys today. The idea of when in doubt, zoom out. Hit those jetpack buttons and zoom up and get some perspective on where you are, where you came from, what education you have, what knowledge you have, what value you can bring, what different angle you can hit the market at to create the kind of life that you're happy with, that you're proud of. That's really all that it's about, is finding something that you love and that you can share and experience with the people that you love and with your community, and to add value. So I know I've said this a couple of times today, but remember that jetpack today. If you're feeling anxious and you're feeling overwhelmed, remember that jetpack. Imagine it, hit those buttons, and zoom out. And on that, have a beautiful morning. And if it's evening, have a beautiful evening.